I get a track so he could never do that again, please?
You know, only God for judges. Only God for judges. This for all the people that support a brother. Perhaps I was blind to the facts. Stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own homies. Just a bunch of dirty rats. Well, I succeed. Paranoid from the weed. And hocus pocus, try to focus, but I can't see. And in my mind, I'm a blind man doing time. Look to my future, cause my past is all behind. Is it a crime to fight for what is mine? Everybody's dying. Tell me us they used to try, and I've been trapped since birth. Cautious, cause I'm cursed. And fantasies of my family in the hurts. And they say it's the white man I should fear. But it's my own kind doing all the killing here. I can't lie, ain't no love for the other side. The jealousy inside, make them wish I died. Oh my Lord, tell me what I'm living for. Everybody's dropping, got me knocking on heaven's door. And all my memories of seeing brothers bleed. And everybody grieves, but still nobody sees. Recollect your thoughts, don't get caught up in the mix. Cause the media full of dirty tricks, only God can judge. Alright, that's good.
What up? So, let me just say something from the off, yeah? At the end, you're going to have to go and look for something. And when you do go and look for it, you're going to understand everything. You're going to understand that the answers were there all the time. And every time, these group of people have been saying this word, they've been telling you the order of everything. Where I'm at right now is, I sit down and I ponder and I think, why do some people go through literal hell on earth? And I comprehend that every country or every nation or every continent has had its woes. I get it, especially through time. But I just want to say, it takes a special kind of evil to do some of the things I'm hearing are being done. I mean, to even use your own body to do these heinous, disgusting things that I'm hearing is going on in Sudan to babies. And then we sit here and we talk about God will come and save us. Let me ask you something. How many wars have we had, excluding the First and Second World War? Okay, from what I know, alright, let's take it from before the Grenada War, right, which I've shown you before with Mohammed XII and Isabella and Ferdinand. That's Muslims and Christians, you know. Cause you always argue on TikTok, idiots. No, we know best. No, that's not that. You're part of the same argument. You know, don't you understand the religious world wars? The religious wars, if you look them up, Jerusalem and the Crusader states. You people are dense as heck, you know. All you have to do is go and look up religious wars. I mean, how dim are you? Let me say something, yeah. If you really want a full picture on what's going on in life, you gotta listen to other people. I listen to other people, you know, I've been listening to other people for years. I sit down and I listen to other people because, well, your wonderful mind can't know everything. And then when I listen to the folklores, other people's religions, etc., I'm like, well, hang on, you're saying the same thing. When you start breaking each one down, you're like, hang on, you are saying the same thing. Okay. So, from what it looks like, okay, you had the Exclusion World War, World War II, and then that was in the 1900s. You got the 16th century, Italian Wars, Ottoman, Spanish, Anglo-Spanish conflict, 17th century, 30 years wars, 30 years, you know, English Civil Wars, Franco-Spanish Wars, Ottoman Wars in Europe, War of Spanish Succession, Vietnam War, 7 Years War, American Revolutionary War, Napoleonic War. Napoleonic Wars continued from the 17th century. Wars of independence in Latin America, Crimean War, American Civil War, Franco-Persian War, Russian Civil War, Polish Soviet War, Chinese Civil War, intermittent war, Korean War, Vietnam War, Arab-Israeli wars, Falkland Wars, Gulf War, Yugoslav wars, Afghanistan wars, Iraq war, ongoing conflicts in Syria, Yemen and Ukraine. Why am I saying all of this? Because people keep making this statement that God's going to come and sort everything out. I'm really trying not to be disrespectful, but perhaps God is actually waiting on you. You know that saying, when the student is ready, the master shall appear. I said before, the problem is people don't understand who God is. And I'm not saying that any of us should stand in one place and say, I am the creator. I'm not saying that. But here on this plane that we live and we call Earth, because Earth denotes other things as well, but that's another conversation. Who should be the representation of God on earth? If Jesus said, you shall do greater things than me, then why don't Christians believe that? And I say Christians in particular because my upbringing, my granddad was a bishop, he passed a couple of years ago, and a staunch apostolic. Like the first people, aside from Ethiopia, because they weren't the first, Armenia was. You go and look up at Armenian Jew and see what it looks like. What I'm saying is, perhaps God gave us more jurisdiction than we're giving God credit for. And the pain and the anguish that we want to stop will only stop when we collectively say, okay, let's hold one meeting. Because these people have been in charge. I know you shouldn't be in charge. And they know that I know. That's why I've only not long come out of TikTok penitentiary. They know I know. They told you, it all started from Genesis, which is about creation, which means creation, which is a new creation. And that's what it's always been about. That's what it continues to be. And if you really look at what's going on, it's going to be so obvious. And they've done so much playing that just having this ingredient alone won't save you per se. It really is going to take a change of attitude, like deep in your soul, to conjure the soul, to just fix up and look sharp in it.
African Americans, what exactly is your problem?
How much time you got, buddy? Where would I start? Well, first of all, they're lazy, good-for-nothing tricksters, crack-smoking swindlers, big butt-having, wide nose breathing all the white man's air.
What are some of the benefits of chaga? It's one of the most powerful in prevention and detoxification of the human body. It has synergistic ingredients, as I mentioned, that are shown in scientific research to work very powerfully alone, and they should work even better synergistically, and studies are just beginning to be seen how these components work together. You have to understand, in Western medicine, people try to take things apart and find the one active ingredient, and then isolate it, patent it, so it can be sold as a drug. That is the Western way of doing things. However, when you have so many active ingredients in a substance, then you can get perhaps many patents and you have to isolate all these separate ingredients. But I believe that nature likes to combine things together in a form of harmony with checks and balances, and that's what we want to achieve and something we put into our body. So this is actually a functional food. It's a special category we have within our government for foods, and I'll show you that because books have come out affirming this fact just last year. Chaga is extremely powerful as an immune modulator and giving protection, antioxidant protection against literally our rusting away from our body. That's what oxidation is, just like iron rusts. It's an adaptogen, so that means it's a substance you can give again and again, and it adapts itself to the condition of the body. If something is overactive, then it tones it down. If something is underactive, it brings it up. And adaptogens, in terms of herbs, have always been used very safely over longer periods of time. We know now that there's melanin in chaga, melanin in chaga, melanin in chaga, and melanin repairs your DNA, and DNA is...
Their LA mansion was filled with surrogate children. In total, the police discovered 22 children, all claimed by the LA couple, and most between the ages of 1 and 3, and with birth certificates that showed they were born all over the country. But 22 children, that's just child's play. Meet Shu has fathered 300 kids using surrogacy. Although his company denies this, they say it's merely only a little over 100 children. That's a lot of kids. Elon Musk, with his 14 children, is becoming a role model now that the one-child policy is gone. These days, he said, clients are commissioning dozens or even hundreds of US-born babies with the goal of forging an unstoppable family dynasty. But Musk isn't just inspiration. According to Weibo accounts linked to Shu hopes his children will one day marry the descendants of Elon Musk.
The reason why they're saying there's nothing like a free lunch exists, because people in Somaliland have been jumping up and celebrating, waving around Israeli flags. But they did not read the small print, because the small print says that as part of the recognition of Somaliland as an independent state, the Somaliland residents or the government of Somaliland has to accept up to 1.5 million Palestinians as part of the deal. So we recognize you and we tell you, yeah, you're a free state, my goodness, you're independent. But you have to make provision to allow 1.5 million people from Palestine to come and settle in your country because they deem it to be a free and safe country in order to relocate the people of Palestine. Yet, people, it beggars belief that I see all these videos of people in Somaliland jumping around and dancing, waving Israel flags and saying, finally somebody sees us. There's a reason.
It's not going to be cut and dry.
Yeah.
It's not.
Somebody got infiltrated. If we were the first beings on this earth and then for some reason we become the minority, let's make it make sense. Somebody sold us out along the way. And then it sounds like we're racist because we're like, oh, if it wasn't for you, what?
No, but I've just explained that it's not cut and dry. It's not
Exactly.
black and white. There's all this stuff in the middle, and this is the stuff we're dealing with today. So this is Jerusalem. Tell me when you see it. People just going about the business. These girls just having a little chin wag. I put up a video last night, and this is what I'm trying to say to you. The gods that you serve were not the gods of before. In fact, the God that says they're God, I know, is a replica of the original one. You could say so much, but you would rather argue.
Monasteries in the historical places of the Passion and Salvation of Christ. In front of the town gates, lepers beg for alms. Meant to be the province of the Ottoman Empire. The arrival of the German Kaiser, William II, on the shore of the Bosphorus. He regards himself as a protector of the Germans living in Palestine. In Turkish uniform, whilst on an inspection tour of the military forces of his Turkish ally in autumn 1917. But English units are capturing southern Palestine. Very soon, German and Turkish soldiers will be taken prisoner by Indian units of the British Army.
across the U.S. are now using purified fat from donated cadavers to enhance bodies, from Brazilian butt lifts to breast augmentation.
Now you don't need liposuction. What they do is they take fat from a corpse.
So I'm like a little more round, a little more profile.
She's the industry's most powerful dark handler. But while fans call it art, A$AP Rocky just went on the Joe Budden podcast and admitted something that changes everything. He didn't just talk about her mentorship, he finally addressed the dark energy and disturbing things he simply can't deny are real. And what he revealed confirms exactly who Michelle Lamy really is.
Do you believe in God?
I don't know what that God is. I believe, I believe in DNA, I believe that genes have memory, I believe in civilization. I'm more proud of humanity and thinking that people that can behave like incredible human beings are without the help of God.
Have you read the Bible?
I read the Bible. I listen to the Bible. I receive from source straight.
I would say read it again.
Sir.
The baptism of the eunuch. The Bible verse for the baptism of the eunuch is Acts 8, verse 26 to 40, which narrates how the Apostle Philip baptized an Ethiopian eunuch after the eunuch believed Jesus was the Son of God.
I'm 1.1 French and German. Nice. 1.6 Ashkenazi Jewish. What? Hey, I've never heard of that. Right before Jewish, I've never heard of that. Yeah, that's grand. I'm not heard of that. Let me try and actually say Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi Jewish. Wow. 1.6%.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Never heard of.
You've got African, all of you.
I've got African area. 84.
I want to add here that people have been moved around, and what you associate a name with is not necessarily who you should associate it with, and who you think your enemy is not necessarily your enemy. Alright. And if you were looking just before it, that's the thing you need to go and look up and read it to the chest end, and you'll realize, wow, go on.
Who have higher melanin, let's say Africans or Indians also to some extent, South Americans, would they be more closer to the divine or have that divine connect?
Yeah. So melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that. But on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world, really, in Native America, right, and all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been systematically on purpose persecuted, not only through the melanin and their ability to hold light. They were guardians of certain lands. It's what's underneath the land. So a lot of people think like, oh, the war for Iraq is for oil, but it's not just for oil. That's what they tell you on the news. Underneath the earth, there's very important portals, and whoever controls these portals controls the energy that flows in and out of Mother Earth. Some people call them stargates. So these indigenous were protectors. They had melanin, they were able to hold the light, and they had specific codes which were protectors of certain lands. But that's why, if you want to say Columbus and all these other, the history books will tell you one thing, but no, they were really coming to like take the land of the indigenous and to take the protectors of the land out of the land.
Who was taken into slavery? The sub-Saharan. Who is the mother of the Ifri? Who is the African? Who is the father? Please put some respect on our names.